What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals, your first line of defense against stupid movies. My name is DJ, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, my sister Delilah.
What's up?
And my brother Derek.
What's up?
And today we'll be talking about Batman Begins, the first of the Christopher Nolan trilogy, which we call the Dark Knight trilogy, which is telling. It's telling that it's called the Dark Knight trilogy because Dark Knight is not in the title of this movie. I think it's telling because The Dark Knight was the best movie in the trilogy is what I'm kind of getting at.
Oh, okay. I was just waiting for you to tell me what it was telling.
Jeez. So... Okay, never mind. Everyone's staring at me like I'm weird. Now, I am going to start a little bit controversial on this. So, I'm going to say about this movie is if you've seen it once, you've seen it. And what I mean by that is kind of comparing it to The Batman. When I watched The Batman the first time, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I watched it again and I was bored out of my mind watching it. This movie, I think, is really good. Pacing, like The Batman, I think is a little slow. And I don't know. I had to break it into two because halfway through the movie, I was tired.
I will go with you on, I did get tired of watching it, but I believe it's almost 2.5 hours, which is a little too long. I don't think pacing is the issue because I think we kind of start off well. And I do like the fact that we get some of Batman's training, which I don't think we've seen in a movie beforehand.
No.
Like his pre-Batman adventures. I think with not just this movie, but the whole trilogy actually, is the more you see it, the more you notice the flaws. Yeah. Like with Dark Knight Rises, that's the last one, right?
Yeah, that's the last one.
It's like I really liked it the first time. And it was one of those movies that I end up seeing a lot in the first year that it was released. Like, I think I seen it in the theaters 3 times. Then when it came out on Blu-ray, every time you was over someone's house, we're watching this movie. Yeah. And it was like, the more and more I've seen it, I was just like, this movie's not that great. Yeah. And I feel like the whole trilogy is kind of like that, where they're flawed, but they're still good in a way. Yeah. But they're not great movies. And watching this had me think, like, do I like the original one better? It just really had me thinking, and I'm going to say no, but I think it's kind of like the original one is great in its own, and this is because it was so different, but also great on its own. Yeah. But I know a lot of people are like, oh, these were the best Batman movies, and watching this, I was just like, I don't really think it is. I think they're just great, but different.
I would say as a whole, if you count it as a trilogy.
Well, it's the better trilogy.
It is the better Batman trilogy because it carries its weight through the 3 movies. Whereas the original one with the trilogy, because we don't count the 4th one, it doesn't carry well.
Oh no, this is surely the better trilogy.
I think through the Batman movies we got, yes, I think this is the best Batman trilogy. And I know I started off negative with it. I do enjoy this movie. Don't get me wrong. I just thought it was more boring to watch the second time around, which I agree with your statements on it. It's like, well, it kind of goes with my original statement. Once you've watched it, you've watched it, you know? And yeah,
I enjoyed it.
No, I'm not saying I didn't. It was just I did get a little bored at the end, and I just felt like to me its flaws stood out more because it's like now that I've seen it all, I can watch it with different eyes than the first time when you're watching it because it was in 2005. Yeah, and it's been about 8 years since we had a Batman movie, and the last 2 Batman movies really weren't that great, and that also kind of helps make this movie stand out. Because what we had gotten beforehand wasn't good. So this one kind of was like, this is the Batman movie we have been waiting for. And then it's like, the more you watch it, you're like, there are issues with the movie.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. But all in all, it does do some things right. Oh, well, before I go on. Christian Bale looks real goofy as Batman. I'm sorry. As Batman, he looks super goofy.
I think he looks like what Bruce Wayne could look like, although I imagine Bruce Wayne be more attractive. But that's just me. I'm pretty sure people think Christian Bale is really attractive. I do not.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But I agree because he has a narrower face.
Yeah.
And when it's just the call on, since he has like that pointy chin, he just doesn't. I don't visualize Batman when I see it.
It looks so. It looks so silly. I don't know.
Like I'm sorry.
Like
on top of it.
I feel like it's kind of hard to get like both.
Well, I agree
with it because I was thinking of like, oh man, Pierce Brosnan would be a good Bruce Wayne, but he will look funny in a Batman costume.
Yeah, he doesn't have the head.
Yeah, it's just.
So I've always thought, why can't we have the stuntman be in the Batman suit?
True.
And then we have a Bruce Wayne because Pierce Brosnan will make a decent, Bruce
Wayne.
No,
that causes a whole other thing because Batman's mouth is exposed, meaning
that's true.
You're gonna have to do a lot of work matching voice to visuals.
That's
just no.
And then it's like if the stuntman has the same shape face, then we didn't solve the problem.
True. Yeah.
So
it's easier with a cartoon.
You just draw a rectangle because Batman has a big square head.
Yeah. But Batman Begins. Now, Delilah, you mentioned that this is really the first time, maybe only time, we got Batman training. Mm-hmm. And I do enjoy that about the beginning of this movie because we jump in and it's Bruce training. First he's in a prison and then he finds the League of Shadows where he gets trained by Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
And I did find that part of the movie pretty compelling. Mm-hmm. One thing that I never picked up on watching it before, all of his training didn't come from the League of Shadows, right? Mm-hmm. When he first got there and he did fight, he did like 4 different styles, right? Mm-hmm. I think it was Mantis, Panther, Krav Maga, and Jiu-Jitsu. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jiu-Jitsu. Thank you. So he had already at that point learned lots of martial arts. Yes. And then I guess it just got refined by the League of Shadows.
Yeah, that, and I think him talking to who we knew at that time as Ducard, like I guess he was giving him sort of lessons about showing fear and instilling fear in your enemies and, watching your back kind of lessons, things that he hadn't picked up on yet. So like you said, like I'm sorry, why did they change the name to the League of Shadows?
I don't know. Oh, League of Assassins, probably too
violent.
Yeah, too much. They can't assassinate people now. But that is what they do.
But that's what they do.
That's what they do.
And they definitely didn't
say even in the cartoons they are called the League of Shadows now.
Well, that makes sense in a cartoon. Maybe don't use assassinate in a kid's cartoon.
I'm gonna watch an episode and I'm gonna find out if it was assassins. I thought it was assassins in the cartoon.
You know what? In the Arrowverse, they were the League of Assassins.
Yeah, in the Arrowverse, I think it is.
Yeah, so I don't understand.
With our Batman stand-in with Oliver Queen.
Right, yeah.
So I don't understand that I was just like, this seemed like such an unnecessary change.
Maybe.
I really didn't pay attention to it like that, but okay.
I don't know.
I don't think it's bothersome. It's unnecessary.
Yeah,
it's an unnecessary change.
All right, fine. I agree with you. Okay. So I do like that they implemented that. Just like with The Batman, where there was a kind of a different look on Batman in that movie. I do like that we got that in this movie. It's good to kind of take those different directions.
Well, because if you don't, then what makes this different than all the other Batman movies?
Yeah, very true. Well, I'll tell you what makes it different. It is if Batman was real, sort of, kind of, not really. But if he was,
I will give you that. It is more grounded, which certainly helps because the last two are very
what Mr. Freeze didn't
fantastical and the neon lights and I don't know, it was like an acid trip or something. I don't understand.
The Schumacher movies were somebody was high.
Yeah, so this is more grounded. It was because another thing they showed us was how he got his equipment, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of these things is like, this was stuff in development, but we never produced, blah, blah, blah. So you kind of see that, like, if Batman was real, like you said, this is where he can get some of that equipment from, in addition to ordering bits and pieces to create one whole set of a thing.
Yeah.
So I thought that was also a nice touch.
Yeah. So like he gets military equipment and stuff that never was used, probably because of the cost. Like they said with the armor he had, it's like, oh, it was $300,000 a piece, which nobody can do but Bruce Wayne. Whereas where that joke comes in, it's like, oh, what's your superpower? I'm rich. Because the only reason he can be Batman is because he's rich. No one else could do that.
Yeah, which is a thing, because when I was looking up stuff, you end up getting a whole bunch of other recommendations about Batman or whatever. And a lot of times when the villains figured out that it's Bruce Wayne, it's because they're like, no one else can afford to be Batman.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
He always has such good toys.
Yeah.
They're known as both.
Oh.
According to Google. Was that before or after 2005?
It's probably after 2005.
I didn't look to see. I just went to Comic Wiki.
Well, see, now we got to know when they added in that extra sentence.
I can check that out for you.
Yeah.
It was retcon to League of Shadows.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I want to know if it was retcon or not. Look, I'm going to just go back to the original cartoon. That will tell you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just watched the cartoon. I haven't in a while. I watched a couple episodes, but yeah. So, this story, interesting, because you don't see him as Batman for a while, but I think it works.
It definitely works.
This movie is better in all the scenes Batman is not in.
Because he look goofy?
Really?
I want to say, I think that it's better in the scenes he's not in, which is unusual. Because usually when Bruce Wayne shows up, you're like, okay, get away. I think the movie is better without Batman.
Then it's just James Bond.
Right.
True. I mean, not that it didn't need Batman. I just felt like when Batman shows up, it just kind of like breaks the momentum we kind of had a little bit. And because the Batman stuff to me wasn't done that well, like it improves as the series goes on for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Dark Knight, I think it was excellent.
Yeah, because one of my issues with this movie is the fight scenes. I don't like them. There's just so many cuts. I don't know what's happening. And then it was like, is he really fighting? I just feel like they probably got guys standing in a circle and then Nolan just chopped it up and glued it back together and said, look, a fight.
So just shake the camera around.
I mean, because like honestly, did we see anything happen?
I think that was supposed to be the whole point.
No, yeah, I understand what Delilah's saying there. Yeah, the fight scenes as Batman weren't that exhilarating.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure. Yeah. Which I still say, while his Batman kind of sucked, the best fight scene was in Batman v Superman with him in that warehouse. Best Batman fight scene. That was pretty dope. That was Batman.
Yeah.
But okay. Yeah, so yeah, let's jump to that action in this movie then. Yeah. I don't know.
You are correct.
It got changed in 2005.
Christopher Nolan Batman Begins is when they were also referred to as League of Shadows.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, action in this movie is kind of I could take it or leave it. It's not bad. It's just, I don't know, like I said, not that exhilarating.
Yeah. It certainly doesn't wow me.
We got that completely pointless police chase scene. I'm gonna go.
Gosh.
I'll go in details. Probably, I want to save it for nitpick.
Okay.
I was like, I'm pretty sure y'all had that as a nitpick.
Oh my
gosh. Yeah, but okay. Let's talk about the actors that are in the movie. So we've got Christian Bale. One girl. My bad.
Katie Holmes.
Yes.
Katie Holmes.
There we go.
Yes.
Morgan Freeman.
Michael Caine. Gary
Oldman. And
Killian, is that who you were thinking of? Or no?
Oh, the
Ra's al
Ghul.
Liam Neeson?
Yes, thank you, Liam Neeson. Hey, look, my brain doesn't work sometimes, okay?
And then the dude who played the Scarecrow.
Killian Murphy?
Yeah, I think
is his last name Murphy? I just think I just gave him a regular old name.
Which I think is a pretty good cast. I don't think anyone did too bad. Rachel's not that interesting.
Okay, I was like,
she's
no
not
one
that
did
interesting of a character in a Batman series. Period.
I'm glad they killed her in the second movie, even though it was a different actress.
They made her for the series, and I can't figure out why. Because she's not interesting.
Right. Killian Murphy is his name.
All right. She's pointless, and I'm sorry, but Katie Holmes is not a great actress.
It was
better than Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Wow.
The character wasn't that useful anyway.
I think Maggie Gyllenhaal was just miscast. I think
I haven't seen anything else that Maggie Gyllenhaal has been in.
Well, don't ask me to name anything now.
Okay. So yeah, I think it's great cast. Christian Bale actually, I think, does a good job in the role. The voice is a bad choice.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He's an excellent Bruce Wayne, I think.
I think he makes a good Bruce Wayne.
He's a real good Bruce Wayne.
His Batman voices, I get like, we kind of got to do it now since someone set the precedent for it.
Yes. Yeah.
The thing is, it's just his voice is just so inconsistent. Like sometimes you're like, okay, I can tolerate it. Then another time it just felt like he needed some honey tea or something.
Well, because it's like Michael Keaton, he rarely talked as Batman. It's just, I'm Batman. Over here, like, how much you weigh? Like, that's it.
Well, Batman doesn't talk.
Right,
Batman doesn't talk this.
But it's just like, but with Christian Bale and he wants to have dialogue, it's just call the police and they come into the city.
I was thinking the issue is that he has to do an American accent plus change his voice.
Yeah, that might kind of suck.
Yeah.
Comparing it again to the Batman, he did talk as the Batman, obviously, but he was a lot quieter as Batman. Only when with Gordon around, and he didn't do the silly little voice. So like that, I think there's a standing with Batman doesn't talk that much.
Right.
Batman doesn't talk.
But it's just the growling, like you said, sounded like he needs money.
I mean, it was inconsistent. It was all over the place. And then I'm like, I can imagine that it has to be hard to do.
To do that voice all the time?
And everyone can't do it. And, you know, it sucks because Keaton started it. And then we had a whole cartoon where the one guy sounded completely different as Batman. So now we're just like, you have to do it. Yeah. And everyone doesn't have that ability.
Yeah. True.
So, sorry.
True. You just make your voice deeper. You don't have to, like, growl. Just make your voice deeper.
Look. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I can't do it, so... I mean,
where are they?
Hey, I love that scene.
I'm gonna nitpick you, but I mean, I can't do better.
Swear to me. Swear.
Which I thought was like it was nice. It made sense. You know what I mean? It's just his delivery wasn't that great. And then, like you said, his face shape doesn't.
His
help.
face shape does not go well.
Yeah, I can't. I keep seeing his mouth when he's talking. I'm like, it's weird. It looks strange. I don't know. So who's better, Batman? Christian Bale or Robert Pattinson?
A better Batman?
Yeah.
I will give y'all this mixture of three: Batman, Michael Keaton, Bruce Wayne, Christian Bale fighting Robert Pattinson.
I didn't put Michael Keaton in there. Go away. All right, so
Christian Bale or Pattinson.
I know, but I said I'll give you this. I give you all three, but playing as Batman, I give Robert Pattinson over Christian Bale as playing Batman,
I don't know
like
if
physically being Batman.
If we can judge it yet, because he only did one movie that somehow can do all the things correct, and I'm still bored.
It's true. They didn't do anything wrong.
No,
it was just like, I'm like, you hit all the points I wanted you to hit, and I'm still like, but something about it's just not right.
Because once you've seen it, you've seen it.
But after
watching this movie, I was like, man, I kind of want to watch the Batman, but I'm not because I know I'm going to be bored. But I kind of want to see it again. Maybe I'll watch it on 1.5 speed. You think that'd be better?
It could be. I watch a lot of things like that.
I feel like when it comes to live action, it's kind of hard to do both. Like in the cartoon, we got episodes of Batman being the detective. We had episodes of Batman being like the brawler and the fighter. And it's just like, it's kind of hard to bring that into live action and to keep you interested. Because it's like, when you're watching Batman, it's like you want him to do both, but it's like, that's a long movie.
But see, I'm not sure if that was the issue. Like, it was
long. The movie
long.
was just too long. Issue with the Batman was the movie.
Honestly, it needed to end when Riddler got arrested.
Yes. Agreed.
If it ended
Although we did get a pretty good fight scene after that, but still,
yeah. If it ended right there, I think it would have been fine. We had another 52 minutes of movie left.
No, was it 52 minutes? I thought it was a half hour.
I mean, it was a 3-hour movie, so he might be right.
I mean, I agree. I think the movie should have ended it there. It's like Batman needed that third act. We did not need that third act.
His character did for his character growth. Yes. Which, speaking on that, it's the same character line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the Batman and Batman Begins, now the story's completely different, obviously, but the character growth for this character is the same in both, where he has to learn not to rely on vengeance, but to actually be a quote unquote hero for people.
Yeah.
And that's where these characters go through in these movies, because he starts off Bruce Wayne wanting to take revenge for his parents dying. Which on that note, I'm like, look, I understand, Rachel. Oh, why are you slapping my dude? Like, I mean, anybody could have done, like, is it wrong? Should he have gone to the court to try and kill Joe Chill? No.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I can't believe you. What do you mean? He saw the dude kill his parents right in front of him. He might want to kill him.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he's about to get out.
Yeah.
On parole. Like.
Yeah, it's interesting that to me in this movie, Bruce learned all of his lessons from the villains. Like, because after that, he goes see Falcone, and Falcone is basically like, you're all angry and high-minded, but you know nothing about what it's like to be on the street.
Yeah, that speech was perfect with Falcone.
Yeah. And that was great. That essentially sets Bruce on his travels to being Batman.
Yeah, because he took it as, well, let me learn how a criminal thinks.
Right. It's like, you're right. It's like, I can't stop you if I don't understand the world that I want to, avenge or revenge or whatever his plan was. Yeah. So, and then, all the lessons he learned from Descartes / Ra's al Ghul.
Mm-hmm.
So, he learned all his lessons from the villains.
Yeah. I was like, did he become Batman because she told him that he had to like basically be a hero and not seek vengeance? I'm like, I think you took it a little far, Bruce. I don't think she meant become a vigilante. I'm just saying.
Right. Yeah, no, she didn't.
Had something wrong with him.
I mean, your parents getting shot in front of you might do.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It might. His dad. Yeah. I know this is kind of off topic where we were talking about, but his dad, bro, why'd you take him to a play with bats?
Yeah, that was in my neck.
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Your son has obviously been traumatized by bats, and you're like, let's go to this play that has bats in it. Yeah. Like, what do you think was going to happen?
Yeah. I have another nitpick with that scene.
Okay.
Why did they exit out into the alley?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the only exit. I don't know.
You can't exit through the front door?
Everyone exits through the front door where all the lights and cars.
Even if you leave in early, now you might not can't get in once the show starts. Yeah. Because when it comes to things like that,
but you can still get to the lobby.
You can still get to the lobby and leave.
So it didn't make any sense. And then you walked out the wrong door and you been looking like, nope, don't want to go this way. And you turn around.
Right back around. Yes, I am not walking out of a building and I'm in an alley.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Main streets only.
Yeah, like you're the richest man in Gotham. You about to walk down an alley.
Right.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Bad decisions that night.
Yeah. No person with money in real life would do that.
If no one with any kind of sense. I'm not walking in that alley. Dude, I can be in my car like, nope.
Right. That's like Jay-Z in New York and he leaves out the concert in the alley with just him and Beyonce. No bodyguard, nothing. Yeah. Like, you getting robbed.
Don't make no sense. There was just no reason to go through that door.
Yeah, no. No, all sketchy and everything. Yeah. It's just trash, graffiti everywhere.
Yeah, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense.
Well, let's exit out this back door.
Yeah. All right. So, back where what we were talking about before I mentioned the alley. My bad. But, okay. So yeah, his character goes through the same story in this. Well, I mean, which is good. You need character growth in movies to make them good, and I think that they at least do a decent job in this one. I'll have to watch The Dark Knight again to see about any character changes, but I don't know.
For him, I don't think there was. Yeah. I think there was more about proving Joker wrong.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, so we got that. I don't know what else.
You want to get into the plot of the movie? We talk about Batman and him changing, but the villain was Scarecrow, aka Jonathan Crane.
Oh, I did want to talk about the villains. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Uh-huh. Yep. So yes. Scarecrow and Reich.
We're not calling him that.
Ra's al Ghul.
We're going to call him Ra's al Ghul.
Oh, we're not calling him Reich?
No. I don't know if that's how, whatever.
That is how it's pronounced.
Sure.
But in this movie, it's pronounced Ra's al Ghul. In the cartoon, it was pronounced Ra's al Ghul. And that is how I know it.
That's how I know it. That's how I'm going to say it.
Okay.
So, yeah. Ra's al Ghul was our main villain, which I think a little... what's the word I'm looking for? It's a little risky to try to do the first movie with Ra's al Ghul.
I think so, especially since it'd have been cool if he showed up again, like for real. Yeah. Showed up again. Especially since he's a guy who never really dies and never really disappears.
But remember, Dark Knight is realism, so there's no Lazarus Pit.
Yeah. Man, it's Ra's al Ghul. And I know Christopher Nolan didn't want to have a whole Lazarus Pit thing, but you do got a man jumping around roofs and whatnot.
True.
So, and it's not like we had to see the Lazarus Pit. Just like, just how this dude just keeps showing up. You're like, man, dude, I thought I killed you.
Modern medicine.
Yeah, that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, I mean, even in the movie, he said there's ways to immortality.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he could have just been referencing like, hey, I have ways to make sure I return in each movie. Like, you didn't have to reference Lazarus Pit. You didn't have to show one. It's just like, hey, there's secrets of the League of Assassins that you don't know about that I know, and you can't kill me.
Yeah. And then even if we didn't mention that, I feel like he didn't feel as impactful as he did in the comics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like when he showed up, you're like, oh, this dude about to make this Batman's life difficult.
Yeah.
And it just didn't feel like that.
I didn't even know about him in the comics until the animated series.
Yeah.
Oh, the animated series.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm like, who is this? Did they make this dude up?
Yeah, and then when his daughter, quote unquote, shows up
Talia.
Why did we Talia so dirty like that? Like, in
the Dark Knight trilogy?
Yeah. Just not.
Even though she is annoying in the cartoon too, but they did her dirty.
They did her dirty in this. So it's just kind of like, and I like Liam Neeson, even though I don't know what we have issues with, an Irish guy playing an Egyptian, but but I did like him in this movie, and it'd have been cool if we could have built up on him a little bit more. Same thing with Scarecrow. Like, this is our first time getting Scarecrow, and it's like, it'd have been great if we could have built him up a little bit more.
They didn't do much character with Scarecrow. He was kind of just there as a means of causing problems, right?
Yeah.
No real character with him.
No.
But yeah, okay. So we'll talk about the plot. So we got our villains. We got Ross. We got Scarecrow, and basically, besides setting up Bruce as becoming Batman, you got the League of Shadows wanting to destroy Gotham because it's at its end. It's a horrible city, and all empires must fall.
Mm-hmm.
I get when you say Rome and stuff, but Gotham's just a city. I was like, I don't.
Because I guess Gotham is like a stand-in for New York City, right? Yeah. I mean,
okay.
If New York City is gone, you figure like, okay, it's not the capital, or whatever, but it impacts the rest of the U.S. so much.
Yeah,
and then it's like basically like from a comic book standpoint, Gotham is like basically the size of like Chicago and New York City combined. Mm-hmm. And it's like in that particular world, they control the economy of like the whole United States, basically. So it was like if Gotham falls, it hurts the country.
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, any major city would do something like that. Yeah. So I mean, that's the League of Shadows plan, because Gotham's corrupt, so they want to take it out. And that's basically what they've been doing for centuries. Yeah. And they're using Scarecrow in order to create his fear toxin, and of course that's what's going to kill people. And so basically they have to stop that. And that's what Batman has to stop. So I mean, it's an okay plot,
but does it make sense? Because using the fear toxin, and I have issues with that, which I'll talk about in the nitpicks. Basically, Gotham is there. The people are gonna go crazy and destroy themselves.
Right, they're gonna kill themselves or each other.
I'm the outside looking in. Does that really accomplish what they want to accomplish? Because now I'm gonna be like, these fools went crazy, and I'm not sure if what is that supposed to do? Is that gonna whip the rest of the city, the country into shape, or I'm gonna be like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to figure out. Is the result what he thinks it's going to be?
Well, in a way, because supervillain plot is after what happens in Gotham, they come out and say, "Hey, we will do this to the rest of the country."
That's not
what they do.
That's not what he's doing. No, he wants God. He knows Gotham's going to rebuild, but on top of it, I guess basically he's saying he won't have the corruption. I don't think it would work the way he was saying. I agree with Delilah on that.
Yeah,
I don't think at the end
they're
of the day,
never going to come out and say, because the whole point of them being the League of Shadows is no one knows that they have their hands in this.
Yeah.
So they're never going to come out like, this was us, right? Because you don't know they exist.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know that that's what they do. And then does Gotham get destroyed by this, or do you just kill a few people? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, remember the whole city was supposed to be.
The whole city gets covered in it, so everybody dies.
So I guess everyone dies. All 10 million people or whatever.
That's a lot of people,
or most of the people.
Yeah, that's a lot of people, and then
it's like whoever is left, they're left over to rebuild the city. But it's like it puts everybody on an even playing field. There's no extremely poor. There's no extremely rich.
Well, that will always be.
Isn't that what Bane did?
It's
because that's what
they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
Oh, right, because Bane is still a part of the whole thing. We just mentioned that.
Yeah.
Okay. So we used the same plot for 2 movies?
Yes.
Basically.
Yes.
Huh.
Yes, because he was to carry out his dream.
I said, with these movies, the more you think about it, the more flaws they have.
Well, it's not. It's a continuation of the plot. Let's put it like that. It's not the same plot. It's a continuation of the one plot. So,
with flaws.
There are flaws. Okay. Scarecrow. Let's go into a bit more detail with him. We know we were talking about realism with them, right? So I think it was kind of interesting. We didn't get, you didn't get the guy with the straws coming out of his suit and whatnot.
Right. His little burlap sack mask, which I thought was like, okay, that's fitting and makes sense.
Yeah.
What I didn't like, the way in some cases it was okay. But the way they visualized the toxin in people's mind, it wasn't scary enough.
Yeah, well, they only went into details with a couple of people, and the rest of it was just like, oh, they're seeing like shaky, wobbly scream and white lights.
And I'm like, y'all played at the Arkham Asylum games. Those Scarecrow levels,
bro,
that was scary.
I have never wanted to be so done with a level in my life. I'm like, I can't, because it's like, especially because you're going about your little Batman mission, and then I'm like, what the heck is happening?
Stuff starts getting weird.
Yeah, right. And then they start calling out the bruise.
Yeah.
And then you got the jump scare.
So
the scene that really got me is when he walks into the morgue, and then you think everything is done.
Yeah.
And then like the shells, when the shells start moving, and then it get worse. I was like, oh yeah, I need to get past this level.
Yeah. So it really should have been something like that, and like you said, shaky cam, blurriness, and that was. I felt like
the scene with Falcone was scary, and the scene with Batman with Scarecrow,
when the bat crawling out of his mouth,
or when he was like that black thing.
Yeah, when he was like that black thing.
Oh, okay.
But it's like once I seen it, it's not. But I remember like watching it in the theater at that point, like, wow, that's scary. But now that I know what it is, like, no.
I just felt like that was the bare minimum that they could have done, and they really should have built up on it some more to show like what is exactly to be influenced by this.
Yeah,
well, I feel like though it's the first movie, and people probably took a lot of kids to watch it.
Yeah, but this isn't a movie for little kids.
Yeah, it is rated PG-13. So...
But it's Batman.
Yeah.
No, you see, you one of them parents that took their kids to see Deadpool. That's what I'm saying. Oh, it's a superhero. No, that don't mean it. No.
No, I get what you're saying, but I'm saying like people take their kids to see Batman.
Here's the thing: you use Scarecrow. Scarecrow is weird.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
you gotta deliver on it.
If the parents get angry, then it's like, hey, you're supposed to. They tell you why a movie is rated. You're the one that's got to do your due diligence.
Yep.
Like you can't blame the movie if kids are getting scared for a movie you didn't rate for children.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna say I disagree on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was taken out a little too easy. He didn't even fight Batman really.
Yeah,
I mean,
but do Scarecrow really fight Batman?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why the fear stuff should be a bit more. They need to do more with it, because even when Batman gets hit with it, like it takes him down, and he sees scary things for a second, but then it's just all wobbly.
So you're saying the apartment scene should have been a fight between him and Scarecrow?
It would have made sense, because usually when he's fighting Batman, and this is based off the cartoon because that's the only thing I really know, is when Batman's under the influence of the toxin. That's when Scarecrow goes crazy with his sticky thing.
Yeah,
starts beating him up. That's the only way he's going to get him, which makes sense.
Yeah, and I want a scene like we were talking about with Arkham Asylum. So instead of doing that immediately, have it where people are watching the movie and then stuff starts getting weird. Yeah,
like you don't know, because especially like you said, like he gets taken out too soon, and so you never really see like, okay, people are acting crazy or weird, but it's like we don't really see what's happening.
Yeah.
And then he gets taken out by a taser.
Yeah, he gets taken out by a taser.
Killian always die by getting hit in the eye.
I wouldn't know.
Is that? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, that's not the first time.
Yeah, so and then he gets tased, and then he runs away, and then he shows up in the other two movies for reasons. So I don't know. It could have been better, especially if you're going to use someone like Scarecrow.
He could have been the main villain.
Mm-hmm. We didn't need to, and I really wish Batman would realize we don't need to.
Well, we didn't get to. Oh, we did get to.
Yeah, we did.
Yep.
Two-Face.
Yep.
It was well done though.
Yeah, but they always have two.
Why?
I don't know.
Why do we always get two? Yeah, let's do one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Batman '89 was the only time where it was just one.
No, the Batman only gave you one. Riddler was the villain for the
Penguin.
He wasn't the villain. He was in the movie. He wasn't the villain.
Okay, yeah, but they gave us like 2.5 movies in one, which we didn't need.
Yeah. All right. Any other thoughts on it?
The car sucks.
The tank?
Yeah, it's the worst Batman vehicle.
Horrible.
As a Batmobile, yeah.
And all genre of Batman movies.
Worse than Forever? With the wings?
Yes. All right, no, Forever is worse.
No,
yes, it is.
No.
Forever is worse.
No,
that Batman looks.
I like that
so
Batmobile.
Stupid. How do you like that Batmobile?
I like that Batmobile.
No, no, Batman Forever. That is the worst. Wait, what was in Batman and Robin? Same thing.
Yeah, it was the same car.
Ugh, disgusting.
I rated number 2.
What?
No.
That's your number 2 Batmobile?
Mm-hmm.
Bruh.
Yep. It's the 89.
First one, 89.
Forever.
No.
Adam West.
No, it's 89. The Batman.
The Batman's Batmobile is slick.
The Batman, yeah. Because it's the first one that actually looks like something a person built.
It's just a car.
Exactly.
The Batmobile is just a car.
It's just a car.
It wasn't until 1989 cartoon we started getting.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the movie.
It's legit just a car.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Anyhow, besides that, the Batman's Batmobile is legit.
It's legit.
Okay.
All right.
I disagree.
I don't know why you're making that face. You're the one that put Batman Forever at 2. You're like, okay, you guys are weird. Did you see this monstrosity over here?
That car is weak.
Okay. We will talk about that on a later date. I'm going to put it on the list so we can.
The best Batmobile?
The best Batmobile.
It's not. It's not Batman.
So
it's not number 2. So it's ugly. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Delilah.
So the car sucks.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And also in here, Gotham doesn't really feel unique. And I think one of the things about Batman is like Gotham in itself is his own character.
Yeah, it's too much daytime. That's what's the problem. Gotham's perpetually night.
Yeah.
It's always night in Gotham or raining, one of the two.
Yeah. And this one, I mean, it's clearly like this is just Chicago.
All the Nolan movies, it just looks like Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, that's yeah.
I like that you do get like the daytime because it's just like, I mean, Bruce Wayne don't come out just at night. Batman comes out at night, and it was just like you got Bruce Wayne.
The point is, Gotham has a gloom about it, which is now present.
Yeah, but then y'all complained about Matt Reeves' Batman on how gloomy it was.
It rained for 30 days,
and how it kept raining.
How gloomy
I don't think we.
Yes, it's Batman. How can we complain about it being gloomy?
It's always dark. The whole cartoon was drawn on black paper because it's always dark.
I'm gonna have to listen to that.
Listen to the episode.
I don't think I
complained that it was gloomy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I did.
You making stuff up?
I complained about what's his face being doom and gloom, but I don't.
Well, I mean, it's always dark and gloomy. I mean,
that would make you gloomy.
No. I'm gonna listen to it tomorrow, and
we'll see.
We'll correct if necessary, but I don't think so.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
The Batmobile in this is bad. The Gotham City is uninteresting. I think it's the way we should put it. It's uninteresting.
I would agree. Yep.
Okay. I would agree with you on that.
Yep.
It's more, I don't know, it feels like more we're being told, even though they did show us. I'm not saying they did a bad job. It just didn't feel it.
Exactly.
Like it's as poor as they are making it out to be.
Yeah, well, you throw some dirty puddles around and some trash, and oh look, now we're in the Narrows. And it just didn't really feel like anything. Especially since like all those people was chilling up in there. Can't be that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my overall general thoughts. I do have some random movie facts if we're ready.
Yeah, let's get into the random movie facts.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about Batman's gadgets and the cost of being Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I'm guessing shortly after this movie was released, Forbes did a little bit of a study.
Mm-hmm.
Said that Bruce Wayne was worth $6.8 billion. I think he'd be richer, but I guess not.
Now, compared to our billionaires, that's nothing.
That's nothing.
Jeff Bezos can lose that in like sneezing, and he'll be fine.
Yeah, so I don't know. I thought he might be richer. I gotta find that article and find out who.
He's got to be richer than that.
Yeah, I think I forgot what ranking because they ranked all of the rich superheroes.
Okay.
Yeah, they did a study.
So yeah, I don't know. I gotta read the article and find out.
Or is the stuff he got in the movie cost $6.8 billion?
No, I haven't got to that yet. He's worth $6.8 billion, and they said it will cost $3.5 billion to be Batman.
Okay.
I think they said the richest is I think Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Is either him or Tony Stark.
If Lex is super rich, then Batman has to be up there too.
Yeah.
But they say that Lex is richer than Batman.
But I feel like they do the same thing.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know which is bigger, LexCorp or Wayne Enterprises. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I think
richer.
overall, Overall, though, I think Tony Stark is the richest.
Well, those suits are expensive.
I could agree with that, but I thought Scrooge. I want to look at Scrooge McDuck should be like number 2.
Oh yeah, Scrooge McDuck is probably up there.
Anyhow,
I could do it.
I think if it was only $3 billion for what we had in this movie, or you said just to be Batman.
To be Batman.
Yeah, Bruce can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So when Christian Bale was first cast as Batman, they was like, you got to get bigger. So he spent 6 months working on and getting bigger. Then they was like, oh, you're too big. We need you to lose some weight.
Aw, come on, man.
So he was like, that was physically exhausting. I'm like, I bet it was. So Rachel Dawes, we did talk about this, is not a DC character. She was created for this movie and also apparently created for Katie Holmes for reasons unknown. Like, why?
Right. Well, they wanted Katie Holmes in the movie?
Yeah, like, why? She's such a nothing character. Like, I don't understand why they didn't use one of Batman's girls.
Maybe had they all been used? I don't know.
No,
they made up a few.
Yeah, we only had Vicky Vale. Who else did they use?
You know what they should do again? Poison Ivy. Like, do it right, though.
I would agree. I think we already did Two-Face twice. Because I was like, I just watched that whole the Two-Face becoming Two-Face part on the animated series.
Yeah.
And he started off dating Pamela.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, we could have that whole thing with him starting off with Pamela to find out she's a nutcase.
Yeah.
And then him being him, and then he has this other girl. I just thought like the whole thing, we should have a Batman miniseries. Because you know what I would like to see? A series when Batman is accused of murder. I think he murdered Silver St. Cloud.
Yeah. I remember reading that comic book.
Okay. Well, that would be good.
Yep.
Yeah.
You were correct. Scrooge McDuck is the richest.
I thought so.
Fantasy.
I mean, this dude's swimming in gold coins. He got to be rich.
64.5
you can't jump in gold coins.
Billion.
Oh, wait. What if he aerates it? It might work.
It's still going to hurt.
It's going to hurt.
It's going to hurt.
You
can swim in it, though.
Yeah. But 65.4 billion.
That's it?
Yeah. That's it?
We need to start changing these billions to
I don't like when these fantasy characters are like not as rich as our actual rich people.
Yeah. I agree. I think we need
Tony Stark is number 2 at 12.4.
Jeff Bezos lost $50 billion and it was okay. Elon Musk spent almost 50 on Twitter and then threw it in the trash can and set it on fire.
I think to adjust for inflation, it's just everyone that was a billionaire is now a trillionaire.
Oh, God. Yeah, Bruce Wayne's a trillionaire.
He's a trillionaire. Problem solved. So I think we mentioned before, Batman doesn't show up until an hour into the movie, which was okay.
That was fine.
Yeah.
This is the first live action appearance of Lucius Fox in the Scarecrow. We did not talk about Lucius Fox at all.
We did not. Let's stop and talk about Lucius Fox. I think Morgan Freeman first did an excellent job.
I think it was an excellent choice for Lucius Fox.
But everything he does is good.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I found the character interesting. It's kind of like the Q scenes with James Bond, but better. I enjoyed that this was the area he was getting all his Batman gear and stuff from. I thought that was a really good addition, and it was a very interesting part of the movie.
Yeah, I especially like it because even though he's always been, well, not always, but he's been a part of the Batman comics for quite a while, he was kind of lesser known. So I thought it was a good way to introduce this character for people who don't read the comics or remember him from the cartoon, because I certainly didn't.
Yeah.
And then, I thought he was portrayed well enough. And then also where he's like, I'm no fool. Like, whatever you doing with this, he's like, you don't have to tell me, but don't treat me like a dummy.
Right. Yeah. Right. It was like, because, I can't lie for you.
Yeah.
Well,
but
so
it was like, if I
me.
don't know what you're doing with it, it's like, hey, I don't know.
Yeah. So I did like him a lot. And I also think I like that aspect of how Batman is a quote unquote loner, but he isn't really.
No, yeah, he needs help.
He needs help. And it's just kind of like, I guess he doesn't realize it, that he's better off with all the help that he's getting.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, his closest friends are Alfred, Commissioner Gordon, and Lucius Fox.
Yeah. Because even in the cartoon, I mean, you had Alfred, but then let's say the comics, doesn't he have the doctor lady?
Leslie Thompson.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was always a team of people.
Yeah, but he doesn't realize it.
Yeah, maybe that's why they kept doing teams of people on Arrow. Mm-hmm. That got annoying, but
Arrow in itself got annoying. Yeah. So this was the first live action appearance, which I liked. I thought he was done well. Mm-hmm. Had a good role in it through all 3 movies.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you know what? We didn't talk about Alfred any at all.
True.
But I always like the Alfreds in these movies. They're all different.
Yeah, I always like the Alfreds.
Yeah. Even
Jeremy Irons.
Yeah, Jeremy Irons too. Yeah. And Schmeagol.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh yeah. Man,
it's a shame. I honestly think COVID ruined my brain. I'm sorry. These are names I should be able to think of, and I can't think of them.
Who was Jeremy Irons' Alfred?
He's
been Affleck's Alfred.
Yeah, he's been Affleck's Alfred.
I didn't realize Alfred he was in.
Yes. What?
I'm like, what?
Are you kidding
Jeremy
me?
Irons' Alfred?
He's in Batman v Superman and Justice League.
What?
Yeah, and the Justice League recut.
Yes. And The Flash.
Oh yeah, he was in The Flash that we just watched last year. That was only last year, guys.
Wow.
Alfred shows up.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's Jeremy
the
Irons.
entire Justice League is in The Flash. Yes. So.
Man, I can't even picture what he looks like. Like I
You don't remember when he was like, he told me that we would be expecting you. Like, you don't remember that?
No. No, like I legit don't have no idea what he looks like. Okay. Like I can't even bring up a mind image of this.
All right. Well, Michael Caine, Alfred. Yeah, I thought it was very good. Very good, Alfred. Mm-hmm. I always like the words of wisdom he has. He has that, like,
Yeah, nice words of wisdom. A little sassy sometimes because Bruce be getting out of line.
I just like the accent.
Because he's British.
Well, I mean,
he has a certain way of speaking, though. Like, I like him. Like,
yeah.
And why do we fall, sir?
So we can pick ourselves up. Or you can just lay on the ground.
All those bloody push-ups and you can't even lift a log.
Like, Alfred, you weren't helping.
Well, he's not doing push-ups.
Fair enough, I guess. Okay, so my last movie fact. The plot of this movie is similar to a plot in a Batman animated series episode where the Scarecrow was poisoning the water supply called Dreams in Darkness.
Oh, I might have to check that out.
Yeah. All right, nitpicks.
And, well, my movie fact was the movie took the storylines from 3 comic books. The Man Who Falls.
Never heard of it.
It's an old comic, but that comic book delved into Batman doing all the training.
Is that where they got the line, "Why do we fall"?
No.
Probably. It's called The Man Who Falls.
No.
I'm gonna read it. Maybe. I'm gonna read it, and I bet you that line's in there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, okay.
In Batman Year One.
This is nothing like Year One.
There was nothing from Year One in here.
There's nothing about Year One in here.
They didn't get in way detail, but Gordon.
Nope.
Started.
No.
I read it.
I read Year One.
Yeah, I read it too.
This is nothing.
The Batman was, even though it was Year Two, it still had a much closer story to Year One than this. Yeah, no. There was no Year One in this.
Simply because this is the first year of Batman, this is not like Year One at all.
But that's the 2 that they said that they got inspiration from the movie for.
Okay.
Well, they read a different version of Year One than I read.
So nitpicks.
Yeah, so I have some nitpicks before you start.
Go.
Okay, 1, microwave emitter, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Great job saying it vaporizes the water in an area. That is what microwaves do. That's how it warms your food.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Everyone gets that. Hey, you know what else is made of water?
Yep.
People?
Yep.
People made of water. Shouldn't everybody be exploding around this thing?
Yes.
That was my first thought.
Absolutely. Everyone, you wouldn't even need to put poison in a water supply if you turn the microwave on and just start evaporating your bags of water.
Yeah, like it's just gonna explode. How does it ignore all the people?
Yeah.
And just the water mains. I'm like, that's not how this works.
Nope. Yep. Also,
that's horrible. Why would you? No wonder. Who made this?
I don't know.
For desert warfare.
It doesn't make any sense. Oh my god! It does. I'm like, why does it? First of all, why does it exist? I don't even understand how this will help you any. 2, if you're not using it, why is it on a boat going where?
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, we lost it. I'm like, y'all a little nonchalant about losing a weapon of mass destruction. I don't understand. And then it's like someone turned it on. Well, then, like you said, if they turned it on, then weren't they also be dead?
Yeah.
And then why would they turn it on?
Why? That's the question.
Just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, I'm pretty sure this has been touched on a lot, but Batman, you definitely kill people. And also that last line with I'm not gonna kill you, but I don't have to save you. Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
If you purposely choose not to save someone when you can actually save them, you are morally in the wrong for taking their life.
Right,
bro.
Especially when it's like, why not save him? Right? If you're all about justice, then don't you put him in jail.
Yeah.
Although Ra's al Ghul never goes to jail.
No.
Because he always gets away at the end.
Of course, because Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah. So yeah, it just didn't make any sense. And then I'm like, you're deliberately killing him when you had so much time to save him.
A lot of time. There was a whole lot of time.
It didn't make any sense.
And I don't have to save you. No, yes you do.
Yeah, you
do. Yes you do, Bruce.
Especially because that is definitely a thing Batman does. I'm like, oh, we saved this guy again. So yeah.
Look, just admit it. Like Spider-Man, and be like, you know what? I'm breaking my rule this time.
Yeah, Batman kills.
Yeah. So, okay.
Do you have any nitpicks before I go through my list?
Nope.
Okay. Number 1, Rachel comes. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I forgot. Are you going to talk about the car chase?
No, but we can.
Okay.
Like how it was dumb and didn't make any sense.
Yeah, it was highly unnecessary.
Yes.
I was like, there was a whole lot of property damage for no reason at all.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this and I'm like, hey, yo, Bruce, I'm pretty sure this is unnecessary. Gordon said, let me get my car.
Yeah.
You could have done that.
Yeah. And then I'm like, you did all of that, yet somehow the cops are still right behind you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are we doing?
I'm like, you destroying people's rooftops and drove on one roof. And I was just thinking, I'm like, they need a new roof now.
Yeah.
Like, you tore up all the shingles and stuff.
Yeah, destroying bridges and whatnot.
Yeah, I was like, bro, you know, when we talk about like the Sokovia Accords in Marvel, stuff like this would make me want that to happen. I'm like, yo, look, it
was so unnecessary.
And why Gotham police cars so horrible? Like, their police cars is from like 1992.
No, in 95, everyone had not Monte Carlos. What were they?
Crown
Vics. And in 05, everyone, they didn't switch to Chargers until recently.
Yeah, it was still the Crown Vic.
Yeah, it was still the Crown Vic. The Crown Vic stayed on until at least 2010.
Yeah, and they didn't change the design.
Crown Vics has been looking the same since 89.
Yeah, and at the beginning of the fight scene, he rolls out on top of the cop car for no reason.
Nope. So now those guys, well, they showed them, but really, they're dead.
And I'm like, why'd you drive on top of that cop car? Is it because you're like, oh, the police are corrupt, so I can destroy them? I mean, like, you dropping stuff, flipping police cars.
Oh, yeah, those guys are dead.
Yeah. And I'm like, yo, this seems way unnecessary. Plus, you have the stealth mode.
Mm-hmm.
I get you're in a hurry to get Rachel, right, to the antidote.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Driving on the roof was unnecessary.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just to get on the road for the cop cars to be still right
That's
behind
what I'm saying. We destroyed all this property, all of these things. You driving on top of roofs, and then the cops are still right behind you.
Yeah.
I'd be really upset. I'm watching a football game and my cable out because Batman want to ride across my roof and flatten my satellite. I ain't got no internet service.
It was the same thing we talked about in the Batman, the car chase. Although the chase was cool.
Those people on the freeway is
all
dead.
those people are dead.
I was like, I don't know if it was worth it for what we needed, Batman. Maybe back off. I mean, at least that car chase was cooler.
It was cool, but all those people are dead. You destroyed an entire bridge. You know how long it takes to build a bridge?
Yeah, you know. We know you know.
So yeah, just unnecessary.
Yeah, definitely unnecessary. Okay, that was my nitpick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So Bruce is back. Rachel and him's talking at the house, and she's like, Alfred still keeps the condensed milk on the second shelf. Why? What kid is looking to get into the condensed milk?
I guess they were. I don't know. Maybe they really like condensed milk.
Like, why couldn't it be candy or cookies or something? Something that kids are.
The writer could have chose something better.
Condensed milk.
Maybe they were making
nothing. Tea. There's nothing. Ew.
Who uses? I don't know. I mean, they sell condensed milk, so people use it. I've never used condensed milk.
Sorry.
So yeah, it could have been something better, like some candy.
Yeah, it just didn't make any sense. Like no kid is trying to get to this. Okay, so we're talking about when he was training with the League of Shadows, and they want him to. First of all, why did you tell him the plan first before you decide if he was actually going to be loyal?
True.
Doesn't make no sense.
We're gonna destroy Gotham. Will you stick with us on that, huh?
Yeah. So yeah. Find out if he's loyal, then tell him the super evil plan. But anyways, he's like, he won't kill the farmer who was in prison for stealing murder and stealing someone else's land. Mm-hmm. However, he blew up a building with like 100 people in it, and did the farmer even get out?
I don't know. Now, there was a lot of complaint about that before, because they're like, well, Batman, you just killed everybody in the house, which I used to 100% agree with.
Yes.
I'm not 100% now. No, I still think it's stupid that he burned it down.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. But when it was set on fire, everybody ran out.
So everyone's out.
Yeah, everyone's out, and he saved Ra's al Ghul. The only person that died was who he thought was Ra's, and that's because they were fighting, and it collapsed on him, which is technically still Bruce's fault, but
that's different. That's
indirect. Yeah,
involuntary manslaughter is okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I used to be on the like, you killed everybody, but they all ran out. They showed them running out. So.
All right, I'll go back and take another look at that scene.
Yeah.
And verify if all of those people got out. And I know people talk about this and they're like, no, Batman can do it. I don't think he pulls Ra's off that cliff.
Ooh, no.
No.
One, he dislocated his shoulder catching him.
Yes.
And then you're talking about his whole body weight.
On one arm?
On one arm.
And it's like Batman can curl, but I'm like, but when you're curling something, you have a whole leverage of your legs and your torso.
Legs. This is just arms.
And you're laying on the ground and you're telling me on the ground, he over a cliff, he's gonna curl up this 200-pound man. No. And I don't even think his arm spikes that has him hooked into the mountain can hold that.
Probably not.
So one of those things don't work.
Maybe the arm spikes are vibranium. I know. You think I made some people mad?
Yeah. Okay, so this is petty, but I'm bringing it out anyway because I thought it was So when he's at the docks and they're with all the container ships and he's about to intercept the shipment of the drugs.
Yeah.
Flash is out in the rain eating his falafel. It's just getting soggy, and I'm like, this is gross.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why are we doing this right now? Just ew.
He does that. The dock scene.
Mm-hmm.
He drops them all off, and everybody's happy. But they can't put them in jail
because there's no evidence.
How was the evidence obtained? Which does matter.
I think a citizen can gather the evidence, right? If I tell you this is where all the drugs are happening.
Well, okay. So if he
Loans is not
him beating them up doesn't take a toll.
I don't think so because it's no different than you beating up a robber, is it?
Yeah. Loans. Okay. The question they're gonna ask is, did you act under your own accord or were you influenced by the police to do so?
Okay.
Yeah, I think because
like a DA or a lieutenant can't come to you and say, "Hey, we need you to go here and do this."
Yeah,
like they can't do that.
I think I think there was a Legal Eagle episode about this. Because he watched the Batman trial episode. And if I remember correctly, I'll rewatch it again to make sure I'm remembering it correctly. It was that basically a vigilante could absolutely gather evidence and the police can use that against the person.
Okay.
Because otherwise, what's the point of Batman?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right,
because I know like evidence illegally obtained has to be thrown out.
Yeah, but if Batman's doing it, he's not a member of the law.
Right.
So it's not illegally obtained.
And then I guess it's nothing about him getting the evidence on the dock was illegal. There's nothing illegal about it.
But I don't understand. It's like, why didn't he gather some of the drugs to analyze and figure out what it was and what's happening?
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he thought it was just regular drugs. He didn't think there were two different kinds.
Batman, use your detective skills. I don't care if it is. Don't you need to know if it's cocaine or meth?
It's not the police jobs. He gave it to the police.
Yeah, that's the
But then he turned around and questioned about the other drugs. Like he didn't even know what they were.
Well, I don't know.
Right? They were clearly being separated and going to two different locations. If I was Batman, I would want to know why.
I have something. I do have a nitpick. Water department.
Yes.
Because this has been going on for what, months?
Yes.
They didn't test.
They don't test their water?
We're going to talk about this. But not now. Okay. It's on my list.
Okay.
Oh, I had some acting facts too after, like casting.
Okay.
I didn't know if you had some.
Nah, because I didn't like none of the people that was on the list, and I also didn't feel like they were legit. So.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to bring them up.
Okay.
So when he's in the house where the drugs are, basically Scarecrow sets him on fire.
Yeah.
Appleman's face don't get burned up. His face was on fire.
Well, it's just like with people with guns. It's like, oh, you aim everywhere but his big old open mouth. You can shoot him in the mouth.
But this time he was legit on fire. I get the suit might be
right. I was like, I get him not being burned with the suit.
Or maybe it didn't spread to his mouth because the suit is fireproof, so it was just the one part burning. So it's on his cape. You know, he keeps it away from his mouth, and he rolls around.
Nah.
He
was hallucinating too, so he didn't even have all his faculties.
Nah, and then how did Alfred get him from the roof to the car?
I was thinking that.
It's been like that on a cartoon.
How did Alfred get him though?
You're right.
It'd be like that on a cartoon too.
Okay, but we're not reviewing a cartoon. We're reviewing this.
And nobody saw Alfred carrying Batman.
This was my thing though. I was like, how he get him in the car without being seen?
And Alfred just put him in the Bentley. Like, okay. Yeah, okay. I think I brought this up, but why did Scarecrow tell Rachel his plan? He's like, I want to show you something. Well, then just kill her.
It's bad guys. They gotta talk to somebody.
Doesn't make any sense. Okay, so now she's running, trying to get to the elevator, and then she opens the door, and he's on the elevator. How'd he get there?
He wasn't on the elevator.
Hey, you know what? We always talk about.
She ran to the elevator and tried to go up.
And he
came back. He came behind her, and when the door opened, he was standing there.
In the door?
Yeah.
Yeah, she never went up.
The elevator never moved.
What I'm saying is, but how did she opens the door and he's standing in front of her.
No. She went into the
elevator, pressed all the buttons, the elevator didn't move. And then the door came back open and he was standing there. He was outside the elevator and he sprayed her. Yeah. She was on the inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So no, that's realistic.
So now we also always just complain about villains monologuing and stuff like, oh, why they gotta talk about it? Mm-hmm. But as I realize, as we see dumb people like posting their crimes on social media and stuff,
they have to tell someone.
People actually have to tell someone. Like you actually have to.
Fair enough. We see it enough, right? That's why they write letters to the cops and whatnot. Yeah, because they just have to.
You gotta tell someone. So I think monologuing is real.
Okay.
Yeah. I think also because like when there's like mass shootings and stuff, like they find it weird when they go and search the person's place and there's nothing. Like that's rare compared to like any other time. Like there's something written, there's plans, there's a whole thing, and it's like the few cases where they go in and there's nothing. Like they just like, okay, we can't explain this because the most recent thing I saw was the shooting in the mall in Minnesota. Like the dude didn't have a plan, no nothing. He just went, did it.
Huh? Okay. All right. So at the end, we're gonna get back to the water thing, but at the end, Gordon has the Batmobile, and he's going to take out the train before he reaches Wayne Tower because that's like the epicenter of it all. If Gordon is destroying the train, Batman doesn't need to be on the train.
Nope.
And since he got on the train, instead of punching people, why not just turn the microwave off? Right?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
Find a way to turn it off.
Yeah. Because then we don't have to get into the whole moral dilemma of letting Ra's al Ghul die.
We could have did the decouple the car with the microwave on it.
Oh, we're going to do that. Yeah. Because he definitely took part of the train apart. So, there was two options. Decouple the car. Gordon's already about to destroy the bridge. And then, turn the machine off because there's a button.
Yeah. There's that. Yeah.
Okay. Now, this water main thing. So, Scarecrow's plan is to poison the water, then turn the microwave on to release vapors so that everyone breathes in the vapors and then go crazy and destroy themselves. Now, I did say this was similar to an episode from Batman Animated Series. In that episode, they actually did it better in the cartoon than in real life.
Of course.
He was directly pumping the toxins in. So at one point, he was at the pump station. And then to answer your question, yes, they test the water before it comes out, and yes, you will notice there's some extra stuff in it. Yeah. But anyways, but it made more sense because he's like adding this additive to it at the pump station, so now it's being pumped into the water. Then the other one, he was gonna like pump it directly in, and here they cut the top off a pipe and was just adding it in, which by the way, the lines are pressurized. If you break the pipe, water just spews everywhere. That's just not how it works.
Right. The water just ain't gonna keep flowing.
It just doesn't. It does not.
Well, because if you have water and it flowing that way, then you get Flint, Michigan, with all the toxins and stuff in there. Because you need So you got to pressurize the pipe.
Yeah, and so it's like he chose a random water main. Decided I'm just gonna pump it in here because this water main goes to the whole city.
And it's in all of the water supply somehow from that one area.
No.
Wouldn't they have to put it in at the hub? They would need to be at Wayne Tower.
They would have to be, which one thing they said though, all the water mains meet here, but they didn't really say. So I'm assuming there's a pump station at the bottom of Wayne Tower. That's the only way it works.
Yeah.
And then that pump station then probably has about 4 or 5 lines that serves the rest of the city, which means you have to be at the pump station, and then you would have to put it into every single main. Yes. There's no one main that's going to serve the entire city. There's just, it doesn't work.
And then, okay, so I somehow doubted the function. If you take it to Wayne Tower and you blow up the main lines, does that mean all the lines in this whole city blow up, or just the main blows up and then the pressure is released at that point, and then the rest of Gotham is without water, but it didn't explode into a mist?
Well, a lot of times there's a redundancy. So you take one out, there's still others. And some people will be without water. But another thing that was like, and someone says like, well, it just has to be a way to isolate it. And he's like, oh, it was already in the water. No. However, Gordon, since he didn't activate his plan yet, closed the valves.
Yeah.
There's isolation valves. So even when they started the microwave, start closing these valves. Yeah, people will be without water, but guess what else is not going to happen?
They're not getting poisoned.
They're not getting poisoned. So you could have isolated it and,
100%.
Yeah.
It definitely.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. My other thing about we're going to turn the water into vapors. They said this was going on for weeks. No one noticed. Fine, let's say he managed to do it after all the testing and all this happens. People don't take showers. They don't drink coffee. They don't cook.
Yeah, it would have vaporized already.
Even if it wasn't as strong or as concentrated, people would still had to have been experiencing some minor effects at the least of this poison toxin.
Drinking it in.
Well, no, because they had to breathe it in with the vapors.
I throw a pot of tea on every day.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah. You take a shower, it's hot water, it's going to steam up.
Yeah, it's vaporized. So maybe it won't.
Some people would start it already displaying stuff.
Even if you take a hot bath.
Yeah. So, maybe it won't be as strong. but people would have started been acting a little weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. What if you're in the basement with your water heater?
Or a sauna or just anything else. And I know it's not as hot as your microwave kit or whatever, but they had to be going just a little crazy. And enough for people to say something's happening.
Yeah, and to narrow it down to water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the plan doesn't work, it falls apart. Yeah. It falls apart.
Yeah. So just the whole thing, I'm like, this doesn't work. And then you don't need it because you have a microwave that vaporizes water. You don't need to put poison in the water. Just turn the microwave on.
Honestly. But no, is they wanted the toxin to make people go crazy. And I guess the only way to do that, you actually could have just put it in like a blimp and then just like released it over the city. That'd probably actually a lot simpler.
I feel like that was a Joker episode.
But that was Batman 89.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, why do we go through all of this thing creating it to put it into water to only weeks later get rid of the water to put it into the air?
Overly complicated.
When, I don't know, just strap a aerosol to the roof of the train that goes through the city.
Oh, yeah, true.
And poison everyone.
True. Could have done that way.
Yeah, that was my last nitpick.
Okay. All right, so then we're going to rate it.
Yep.
Okay. I say... I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence between I pay for that and watch my photo close.
I'm gonna go with I pay for that because I've seen it too many times.
Yeah, it's still a good movie.
It is a good movie. I've seen it too many times. But if you're new to the series, it's a good movie. It really is. I mean, there are flaws or whatever, but I can't say even with that is not a good movie. So it's gonna be I pay for that. But it's not a perfect movie.
Okay.
It's not, oh my gosh, Batman is on, let me watch it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I'll pay for that as well.
Yeah. Okay. So I pay for that. That I think is a fair assessment for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It is actually a good Batman movie, which we needed at the time. And hopefully we get some good ones in the future. I don't know what's going on with James Gunn DC, whether I think it's new Batman, but I don't know if they're continuing the Batman series as well.
Yeah, because they agreed on for it to be a trilogy, and they greenlighted him to do 2 more movies. Yeah, but it's listed as Elseworld, so it's not tied into James Gunn universe. DC. Yeah.
Okay. I do want to see like some different villains. Let's do Scarface. And someone mentioned somebody for Scarface, which I was like, oh, I never thought of it. Because, okay, have any of you seen the Key and Peele sketch where he's using a dummy as a parole officer?
No.
I haven't seen that one.
Okay. But if you think about Jordan Peele and how he can actually change himself, like he's mainly a comedian, but he can change himself to different roles. I was like, he might actually do well. It's different, but he might actually do well in that role.
That's so far different from what the character is. I don't know about that one.
No? Okay. But you can get anyone though. So
you can legit get anyone. Scarface will be, because that is completely different than what we've had in the past.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I do think we knew, because I know at the end of the Batman, they handed out the Joker. We do not need this again, so stop.
Please, no, don't do Joker.
It's just like Batman's role gallery is incredible. Like, we do not need to always, I get he's the most popular one, but it's not something that we need to have when he has such a solid casting that you can pull from.
Do something where winning isn't going to be accomplished by beating the person up, like Clayface.
Yeah.
You gotta think some other way in order to win.
Well, I mean, isn't that why using the Riddler and it was a good idea, because it was a mind game more than anything else.
Yeah.
Right. It wasn't someone you were just going to start punching and smashing, because that's not what he does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I heard that in the Batman movie, Hush is going to be the villain. So it's going to be
the real
Thomas,
Hush, or that
Thomas
mess
Elliott.
We got in that animated cartoon. That was the Riddler in the animated cartoon, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
You didn't watch it? It was horrible.
Yeah, it was horrible. Yeah, no, it was supposed to be the real one. Like, it's supposed to be Thomas.
Okay, that would be something.
Okay, we can see that. Well, that is our thoughts on Batman Begins. If you've seen it, what did you think about it? What are your hopes for the future of Batman? Let us know in the comments below, and we will catch you in the next podcast.